It's 3 in the morning and you're staring at your phone, refreshing your bank balance like somehow the numbers will change. You've done this mental calculation 17 times already. That thing in your cart, the budget you swore you'd stick to this month, the shame spiral that starts before you even open the banking app. And somewhere in the back of your mind, the question that keeps you awake: why can everyone else figure this out except me? Here's what you need to hear. This isn't about willpower. It's not because you're irresponsible with money, and it's definitely not because you lack discipline. What's actually happening is that your brain is trying to run 2025 financial reality on 1985 economic software. Operating system doesn't match the program anymore. And according to the Federal Reserve, 67% of millennials have less than $1,000 in savings. You're part of a generation navigating a system designed for an economy that no longer exists. Sunday night, perfect budget, color-coded spreadsheet, every dollar accounted for. You feel in control for about 48 hours. Then Wednesday hits and somehow you've already blown it. What you're experiencing isn't a discipline problem, it's evolution. Millennials absorbed a specific kind of economic trauma during formative years. You watched parents lose homes, saw stable careers evaporate, learned at a cellular level that security is temporary. Psychologists call this scarcity imprinting, when neural pathways develop around instability instead of stability. Your brain's architecture formed before you had words for what was happening. Research on recession psychology confirms it. Coming of age during economic crisis creates lasting changes in financial decision-making. Short-term resource acquisition gets prioritized over long-term planning because your environment proved the long-term was a gamble nobody won. That's not impulsive behavior. That's intelligent adaptation to a hostile system. But economic reality kept shifting while you were learning those lessons. College tuition increased 169% between 1980 and 2025. Median home prices rose 300%. Average wages? 15%. The costs you're managing inflated at 20 times the rate your earning power grew. Someone changed the rules mid-game and forgot to mention it. The economists call this purchasing power erosion. Your dollar buys roughly 1/5 what your parents' dollar bought at your age. Millennials need an average of 16 years to save for a down payment. Boomers needed 6. Nearly 3 times longer to reach the same starting line, assuming your income holds steady and costs stop climbing. They won't. The equation itself is broken. Can't solve it? That's mathematics, not personal failure. Now let's talk about what happens inside your skull under constant money pressure. Your prefrontal cortex, the region handling long-term planning and complex decisions, shifts into survival mode. fMRI studies show financial worry activates the same neural pathways as physical threat. Your brain processes, "I might not make rent," identically to "there's a predator." Same threat response, same chemical cascade. Your nervous system flags financial danger and immediate survival wins over future planning every time. Princeton research on scarcity found financial stress reduces cognitive bandwidth equivalent to losing a full night's sleep. Constant pressure floods you with cortisol, which doesn't just create anxiety, it physically degrades the brain regions you need for sound financial decisions. The stress of needing to choose well impairs your ability to choose well. There's a deeper layer, and it starts with what you were promised. Get the degree, get the job, buy the house, build the retirement. Psychologists call this deferred gratification conditioning, training your brain to sacrifice now for future rewards. Except that formula required specific conditions: affordable education, stable employment, wages matching productivity, housing prices aligning with income. Those conditions vanished. When anticipated rewards consistently fail to materialize, something shifts in your dopamine circuits. They don't stay neutral, they downregulate. Neuroscientists call this reward prediction error. Your brain expected payoffs that never came, so it stopped believing the system delivers. Every time you follow the old rules and hit a wall, neural pathways learn those rules are obsolete. You were trained for an economy that disappeared. The grinding sensation? Incompatible code trying to execute on updated hardware. Now here's something that sounds backwards but is actually rational. Financial experts criticize millennials for prioritizing experiences over savings. Research in behavioral economics reveals the opposite. You're making intelligent choices given impossible constraints. When long-term rewards are unreachable, immediate rewards become legitimately more valuable. Calculating that you'll never save enough for a house anyway makes choosing the trip the sound decision. You're recognizing traditional milestones moved out of reach and building new metrics for a meaningful life. Studies on generational spending suggest those who prioritize meaningful experiences over inadequate savings toward impossible goals often show better mental health outcomes. The irresponsible choice produces less anxiety than the responsible one. Your priorities aren't backwards. The system is. When older generations say they managed to save, here's the missing context. In 1980, median house cost 3 times median income. Today, 8 times. Your parents saved for down payments on entry-level wages while covering rent, food, occasional entertainment. You're expected to match this feat while entry-level wages barely handle rent, student loans they never carried, and groceries costing twice their 1980 price. Economists call this intergenerational wealth compression. Each generation experiences less upward mobility than the last. Marriage gets delayed, home ownership postponed, children reconsidered. Not because of commitment issues, because the math doesn't close. You're the first American generation statistically likely to earn less than your parents. Need the fundamental assumption of progress broke? Feel like you're running in place financially? That's accurate assessment, not paranoia. If you're a millennial struggling with money, understand this. You're experiencing the collision of 3 distinct forces. Economic trauma during formative years created neural architecture around instability. Money stress keeps your prefrontal cortex locked in survival mode, impairing the decisions you need to make. And you're facing systemic impossibility. Equations that mathematically don't solve. Predictable neurological response to unprecedented conditions. Your anxiety matches the actual threat level. Lying awake calculating whether you can afford something? That's accurate risk assessment in an unstable system, not overthinking. What looks like can't save is actually adapting to broken infrastructure while being blamed for not fixing it. The shame is evidence you internalized criticism for a problem you didn't create and can't personally solve. The next time you're awake at 3 in the morning, refreshing that bank balance and recalculating your cart total, try this. Give yourself permission to feel the stress without adding shame. The threat is real. Your response is proportional. Then try small recalibrations. Track spending for awareness, not judgment. 5 minutes every Sunday. Watch patterns without narratives attached. Automate $1, not 500. Build the neural pathway of future self-saving without triggering shutdown. When shame spirals start, name what's actually happening. Externalizing the systemic stops you from personalizing the structural. You're navigating financial reality no previous generation faced with brain architecture shaped by watching that reality betray the people who raised you. Work with what you actually have, not what the old playbook says you should.